Back to the channel for another Magic the Gathering update. So today I'm going to be adding 14 new Magic the Gathering cards from the Doctor Who line to the frame behind me. If you didn't catch part 1, I'll have a link that in the description. Also, my cat will most likely be visiting us during this video because he is trying to climb up on my lap as I do this. But essentially, I have a 35 card frame behind me, which you can see a little bit, and I did a little under half of that the first time, and I ended up doing 2 orders immediately after. One of them is still not here, and I emailed the seller and he's like, it'll get there. So as of now, I just don't have that one. However, I do have these 14 cards from a different seller. So essentially, I'm just building a custom frame of 35 of my favorite Doctor Who cards. I do have the most valuable of my collection, well, Doctor Who collection in there so far, which is going to be pretty cool. Sad card, but it'll be pretty neat. Had a blast doing this the first time, and you guys seem to like it as well. Since then, I've also done a 20 card frame for Lord of the Rings, which was a lot of fun, and will definitely be getting updated pretty soon. I just wanted to do at least the update for this order for now, just to kind of keep things rolling here. I definitely really do like doing the Magic the Gathering short videos and these full video updates. So normally, I'll grab that frame down off the wall, which is always an absolute catastrophe, because I have to move all the Legos and the pop figures, and I just keep putting more stuff back there, so I'm sure that'll be terrifying today. I'll open it up, and then what I typically will do is I'll show you guys the 14 cards in this case that I'll be putting on, or in, I should say, that card frame. Show you piece by piece, card by card, what I'm putting in there, what they are, why, and then at the end I'll show off the actual frame itself. But yeah, if you're interested, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Definitely appreciate it. It helps me out a lot. Channel's still doing well, but there's always room for growth and improvement, so I'm trying to get better with this stuff. I'm slowly figuring out the lighting. I don't know what it is about my new phone and my tripod. They don't like each other, so I'm going to try and fix that as I go. But for now, you know, busy October into November into December is just one after another with projects between Legos and video games and the side projects for Magic the Gathering. It is every day of recording right now for daily uploads, so it's a lot of fun. This room's also 900 degrees because I just got done recording like 5 different games for 9 hours today on my day off, so it's hot in here. But yeah, without further ado, let me get that frame down. We'll go through all these cards, and let's get started, everybody. First card we will be adding is the 9th Doctor, albeit I'm actually rewatching the series right now, like I said before, and I want to really get to know the 9th Doctor and his storyline better, because obviously Christopher Eccleston, he really brought back the Doctor Who timeline for everybody, so he is incredibly important, not only for older fans of the series, but new fans as well. He's essentially like the big starting spot. I started on Matt Smith's The 11th Hour in Season 5, so I started at a different point, a good point to start at, don't get me wrong, just because that was a big reboot, and yes, they made a couple references I didn't understand, but if you have a little bit of knowledge going into it, you're generally going to be fine if you pick up with certain areas. So I picked up at a good spot. Then we have the Day of the Moon. This card was just kind of available from the seller that I was ordering all this from. I love the episode. I think this is a good end to the storyline. So essentially, this is where you figure out more about Amy, Rory, River Song, and the final confrontation really with the Silence, which you can see Amelia's face in the background. Is covered in those check marks I had talked about previously with the Silence, and then you of course have the Moon, you have the Silence itself, the Astronaut, etc. It's a really cool card, and this is not one I had on my final roster, but for now at least, it's going to be part of the crew. And then one of the obvious big villains that you have to add is the Master. I chose the Gallifrey's End. I like the title more. I love the card art. I just think it looks fantastic. And, of course, I mean, it's a Time Lord villain rather than just like a mystical creature, an alien or something. You do have a Time Lord versus the Time Lord, and the Master has popped up time and time again. Nowadays, you'll see more of Missy, but the original Master was definitely pretty cool. One that I do not have on my final roster, and that's just because it's not my favorite in terms of the villains. However, the name Time Reaper is obviously fantastic, and the card art is arguably the best. And looking at it versus the Beast, that demon, I actually do like this one a bit more. So definitely pretty cool, and it's nice to see an alien horror making its way in. Then you, of course, have the final act of the 12th Doctor, which is Twice Upon a Time. This is a Christmas and holiday-themed card as well, and it, of course, does have a very, very big significance for the end of the 12th Doctor's run. This card right here is Davros the Dalek, creator, of course, one of the absolute biggest and most popular villains from Doctor Who, the Dalek Empire. Incredibly powerful, incredibly strong. I mean, Exterminate, you know that reference before you even watch Doctor Who. Davros is, of course, their creator, and he is a really, really cool character. I decided to do Davros rather than just a standard Dalek, and that's just to make the best out of the space that I currently have for these cards. Then this is the most valuable card in the set. My set at least. Obviously, like foil versions, some one-offs, some secret layers are going to be more, but one of the more expensive cards that you're going to be seeing in overall for Doctor Who is Farewell, which is a very, very sad card when you look at it. And it just has the caption, "I don't want to go." This is, of course, the final act for David Tennant and his 10th Doctor. Amazing episode, incredibly sad scene, and a very cool card to add to the wall. That'll be on the sad scene line. And then here we have another sad one. Glad I shuffled these the way I did. The Parting of Ways, which is, of course, the final time that the Bad Wolf timeline for the 9th Doctor and Rose Tyler will be going through. Again, another sad card. You do see Bad Wolf a lot on like license plates and stuff. Here we have a sonic screwdriver. I just kind of grabbed one of them just to be a placeholder. You do have a bunch of sonic screwdriver cards that you can get. I'm not after any of them in particular, however, a nice placeholder. You know, I mean, I paid like $1 for it since I already had free shipping since I ordered like 40 cards total from this guy, so it's definitely a nice one. Probably the saddest card for me, just given that the 11th Doctor is my favorite. This is from his Christmas special as well, which is Regenerations Restored. Essentially, it is the final battle for the 11th Doctor when he's going all out, battling a huge, huge army. Once again, you see the Silence and the Cybermen and everything come back. It's a very cool special, and it is very sad as well. I'm not sure if I have it in this group. I think it's actually going to be in the final crew, which, as of filming this, still has not come, and I've waited a few days after my initial intro to this just to see if it was going to arrive so I could do one final video before some like full art and foil upgrades and some rare versions down the road. But alas, the seller I actually have to email again today because this is kind of the due date as of filming this. Again, waited a few days and just nothing. So got to talk to them and say, hey, basically it still hasn't arrived. I don't know what's up. Here we have Clara Oswald, of course, going to be the final companion for the 11th Doctor and the original companion for Peter Capaldi and his 12th. Overall, I do not like her as much as Rose or Amy. I mean, I'm not a big Donna fan, Martha, anybody like that. Some of the companions I absolutely love, being Amy and Rose, of course. Clara's probably my third. She's fine. She just had the unfortunate angle of bad writing for a lot of her story arcs, which they were okay, but not great in some areas. Her final episodes on the show were pretty cool, but even then, like, the highs for like some of her solo things I just thought were okay. Danny Pink and Listen for season 8, obviously a huge grab for me. I absolutely love that entire episode. I think she plays a great part, and she definitely does, I think, better with Peter Capaldi and the older Doctor timeline than she does with Matt Smith, in my opinion. But that's also, it's hard to go from Amy Pond, who is the reason I like the companion in the first spot. She was my very first one, and obviously having met her, it's pretty cool. But Clara Oswald is a good companion, don't get me wrong. She just suffered a little bit from like coming in when the writers were a little bit off, in my opinion. Another sad card here, we have The Last Night Together, which is, of course, more of the River song theme. Essentially, these are two mystical towers that, when River and the Doctor see them for the last time, or when they see these towers, it is the last time they will ever see each other, and it's a very sad episode. And this is a better one for River Song and Capaldi. River's timeline, I think, was one of the absolute best part, or not timeline, storyline was really cool. The 11th Doctor really helped her shine, and I thought that was just fantastic. So River Song, I'm a huge fan of, but this is definitely a memorable one. And last but not least, I knew that was going to happen. Last but not least, we have The Day of the Doctor, which of course was a huge huge storyline special, which is actually just called The Day of the Doctor, which features Matt Smith and David Tennant, and I forget his name, but essentially he's known as the War Doctor. If you're not entirely familiar, yes, the Doctor is a warrior and Time Lord that does not believe in weaponry or essentially like killing anything in a battle. He is very much, by the books, a good guy, I would say. The Day of the Doctor more so describes the war. There's a couple cards that coincide with this, which again have been ordered but not delivered, which are the War Doctor card itself, and then I believe I bought the Moment as well, which is kind of the day the Doctor decides to do the thing, and I will not spoil it for anybody, that changes the entire universe, the timeline for Gallifrey and the Time Lords especially. The Day of the Doctor is fantastic. It is my favorite special overall. It was not perfect by any means, and it was a lot of fan servicing, but it really gives the darker vibes to a very, very sad character. But yeah, so that'll be all of these cards for this run here. Yep, you can see in the background, I did include the collector booster, and yes, I did get a couple cool cards inside of that, but I will be saving them for a future video when I upgrade some of these cards and the ones already inside to foils or rare upgrades. I did get a nice foil in there that is actually worth more than Farewell, but that does not count towards this video since it is not an upgrade video. So I'll be doing that sometime in the future. No timeline for that. I'm working on just so many projects right now. I just want to finish this frame here, and I would like to obviously work on my Lord of the Rings one more, perhaps buy a bigger one for the holiday season for myself. I don't know yet. So let me get these organized into the frame, everybody, and then we can see what we're looking at. Alright everybody, and here is the final roster spots for everything here, at least for this time around. I just finished filming this, edited it a little bit ago, and I realized I shot this the opposite direction, so now I get to redo all of this. Sorry if my computer is a little loud in the background. I did just finish uploading like 3 hours of Spider-Man 2, so my computer is really praying for its life at this point. But overall, it actually did work out pretty well on the organization here. We have the TARDIS first, and then all of the Doctors in order. We got 9, 10, 11, 12, and then I did put the sonic screwdriver in at the very back half of it. I think the TARDIS will stay here. The sonic screwdriver is going to get replaced by the War Doctor at some point. Then we move down here. We have the 3 companions currently in the roster, which are Rose Tyler, Amy Pond, and Clara Oswald. Also in order, of course. For the villains, no particular order. Davros, the Dalek Creator, the Master, Weeping Angels. Yeah, I just love that art. That is so cool. The Vashta-Nerada, the Renegade Silent, and then the Beast, the Deathless Prince. Right next to the Time Reaper. Let me know which one you like better. I'm still leaning Time Reaper out of those two, but both awesome. Then we have the row. So I went Doctors, Companions, I almost called them Partners, Villains, and then the row of traumatic events. So we have the Parting of the Ways, Grasp of Fate, Farewell, This Is How It Ends, Regeneration's Restored, The Last Nights Together, or Last Night Together, and then Twice Upon a Time. Those are, of course, in numerical order, judging by how everyone cried to each of them. And then at the bottom, we have The Day of the Doctor, Blink, Ecstatic Beauty with Vincent Van Gogh, Crack in Time, which technically could be a traumatic event, however, the one right above it's a little more disheartening. The Pandorica, The Day of the Moon, and the Wedding at River Song. No particular order for those guys down there. The Day of the Doctor and Blink just kind of go up front because of what they are. And yes, underneath, I do have 2 art books, which are the Magic the Gathering War of the Spark art book, and then the Art of Dead Space. And then just a little sneak peek to what's around it. We have the Monsters Fighters Castle. We have the Dwarves Underground Mine. And then we got the big boy up top, the Troll Mountain Fortress. You can see the giant UCS Venator up top. Sorry about the glare. Some figures, bunch of pops going down alongside. Yeah, my computer's slightly editing in the background. But yeah, that'll just about do it for this video. Another Doctor Who episode down in the books. I'm waiting on that last order still. So once I get that, I will probably make one final video on this for now. If I decide to get enough to upgrade, I will do that eventually. I did just grab a couple more Lord of the Rings ones on the long side as well. While I was editing, I did place another order, so I will be having another Lord of the Rings video either towards the end of November when they arrive,
or towards the beginning of December, send us off right. So thank you guys so much for all the support. Like, comment, and subscribe if you can. Helps me out a lot, and I'll see you next time. Happy collecting, everybody.